Last night in Miami, the Marlins' long nightmare came to an end. Martin Prado beat the Orioles in 13 innings. It was a big relief. The 8-game losing streak is over. The question now, can the fish turn the page? Orioles, Marlins finish the series. Let's hope it is a new day for the Miami Marlins. After a long night and a 13-inning win, the Marlins and the Orioles finish off this weekend series. Roof closed, rolling windows shut, AC on. Smile pretty for the camera. The entertainer on the DL, but Martin Prado, Manny Machado, Miami's own. Tom Kohler takes aim at Baltimore. Hi, everybody. Rich Waltz, Tommy Hutton. It was a while since we saw that bubblegum helmet that Martin Prado paraded off the field with for the Marlins, Tommy. Obviously, a much-needed win. The question is, what does it mean to the club moving forward?
Well, it's also been a while, Rich, since we saw all those smiles that we saw in the celebration on the field after the walk-off of Prado. A terrific win. Now you try to build on that for today.
The headline of this win wasn't clutch home run, two-hit shutout. It was the bullpen. The bullpen was absolutely spectacular last night.
Bullpen incredible. Dyson, Dunn, Ramos, Morris, and I can say this, capped off by Carter Capps. 3 innings, gave up just 1 hit, and had 6 strikeouts. The bullpen just tremendous. 7 innings. They struck out 9. The key column, they didn't walk a batter.
And Carter Capps wasn't just good, he was dominant.
He was smiling in the clubhouse today and talking with him. He was dominant with the fastball, but he was also dominant and had tremendous command and control of his slider. When he gets that slider over, I'm telling you, he's almost unhittable because of the velocity he has with his fastball.
Well, it was late into the night last night. The Marlins beat the Orioles in 13 innings. Can it carry over this afternoon? Can the Marlins get a little bit of momentum and start back up that hill? Tom Kohler tries to take that first step, pitching at home where he's very, very good. It's Marlins, it's Orioles, and it's next. Series, a game apiece. Yeah, under the little soccer tunnel there on their way out. The bullpen getting ready. Let's go out to center field. Jeff Conine, Craig Minervini.
Well, thank you very much, Rich, and good afternoon again, everybody. Tom Kohler, who went out of the rotation for just one little shot. He went a nice 3-inning stint against Atlanta, back in the rotation, and he's really handled the role very nicely coming back. I'm sure he appreciates every time he gets a chance to start, and the Marlins need him.
Well, Dan Jennings, in an interview earlier today, said what a bulldog this guy is, and he's the type of guy that they want in that clubhouse as far as the culture is concerned. He's going to go out there and give you 100% every time, and he loves pitching here at home. I'll tell you that. The numbers and the splits on home and road are not alarming, but this year they kind of are. 1.61 ERA here in Marlins Park, 6.5 on the road, and you see what he's done career-wise as well. A little bit closer, but still likes that home cooking.
Well, great for Tom Kohler. We'll see if the Marlins can follow the celebration. In case you missed it, the Marlins celebrated not only in the clubhouse with their manager, where they fired shaving cream on him in the shower with his uniform on, then they took him out and basically dunked him into the Clevelander pool.
Yeah, what a great moment for Dan Jennings. A little bonding team time experiment here. They take him out to the Clevelander, dump him into the pool, all that junk all over him. He gets to wash off a little bit, but very touching moment for Dan Jennings, knowing he's part of that clubhouse.
And to get a win was big, but as he said, he's more happy for his ball club, and now he can worry about maybe a little win streak as the Marlins go on what looks to be a very tough road trip on paper, with going into Pittsburgh and then into New York. The next two series play the Mets and the Buccos. All right, ball game coming up here in our Memorial Day weekend coverage, as the Marlins will play the rubber game against the Baltimore Orioles on a Sunday fun day here at Marlins Park. Enjoy it on Fox Sports Florida.
By Toyota. Let's go places. By Florida Coast Equipment, Florida's largest Kubota dealer. Visit us at FloridaCoastEQ.com. By Auto Nation. Save on over 70,000 vehicles now. Visit AutoNation.com. And by H.H. Gregg. Top brands, low prices, fast delivery. Gregg's got it. In Miami, Tom Kohler taking the field. Kohler's been really good his last 3 appearances, 2 starts and a relief stint. Last time out, didn't give up an earned run in almost 7 innings against Arizona. He'll face this lineup. It's brought to you by JM Lexus. Been fun to watch Miami's own Manny Machado with the glove and the bat. He's had a really nice series. David Lowe gets a start in left. Jimmy Paredes is out at second. Adam Jones down in the cleanup spot. Chris Davis has had a tough series. Everett Cabrera, Ryan Lavarnway will do the catching. Alejandro De Aza is in right field, and Miguel Gonzalez will hit ninth.
Well, I've said it before, and it's just great the way Tom Kohler's handled the whole couple of days that he was sent to the bullpen, and it's just a great example of you never know what's going to happen on a ball club, so always be prepared, and he's always prepared. So he gets ready to make his ninth start this year, first ever appearance against the Baltimore Orioles.
This is a real mystery game for both of these teams. Manny Machado steps in to face Tom Kohler. As you said it, Kohler hasn't faced the Orioles. The Marlins have not seen Miguel Gonzalez. Pitcher Penny brings you the first pitch. And it's a fastball that misses out. Pat Hoberg is calling balls and strikes. Andy Fletcher, Paul Emmel, and Jordan Baker are on the bases. And Jennings, win number 1. Last night, Kohler gets a strike, 91 miles an hour for the 28-year-old out of New Rochelle, New York. Marlins improving to 17-27 and snapping an 8-game losing streak. And it's 1-2.
When Tom Kohler gets that breaking ball over, he can be tough. Before all the video, this used to be the type of game you talked about both pitchers having never seen the opposition. Before all the video, this used to be the type of game where first time around, first 3 innings was kind of like a big heavyweight fight. You just kind of build your way around, see what the guy had, when he threw certain pitches. It's a little different with all the video now. Hitters have and pitchers have a much better idea.
Here's the 2-2. Machado to left on the line. Yelich is there, and he makes the catch. Defense for Miami. It's brought to you by BMW.
17 errors, tied for first with Cincinnati. Yelich, Ozuna, and Stanton in the outfield. Nice assist by Ozuna last night. Prado, Echeverria, D. Gordon. What a great DP combination. Justin Moore back in there at first base. And Jonathan Solano catches this afternoon.
Here is David Lowe. Lowe standing in. Former college baseball and football player and a former Kansas City Royal. He'll send it out Yelich's way. Christian is over, and he's there, and he makes the catch. Kohler has a couple of quick outs, and now he gets Jimmy Paredes.
You know, there are a lot of things, and it's really a hard thing to quantify why Tom Kohler and why some pitchers pitch better at home than on the road. Some of it's routine. It's easier to have a set routine at home. But obviously in this ballpark, if you challenge hitters and just say, here, go hit it, you're going to get a lot of outs.
Dan Herron didn't have his best stuff last night.
Boy, but he battled.
He battled, and he stranded a lot of runners. The Orioles had a lot of opportunities against Herron, who's just a lot like Kohler without the velocity. I mean, he challenges hitters, probably mixes and matches and adds and subtracts a little better. There's his line last night. 115 pitches in 6 innings.
Yeah, he got tested, had to throw a lot of pitches in the first inning last night, but he did what you want your veteran guy to do. He was tremendous, and that set everything up for the tremendous bullpen work.
Good changeup from Kohler, and Paredes swings through it. The count is 1-2. Paredes having really a bust-out year for him, at least so far. That .352 average tied with Nelson Cruz for the top spot in the American League. That is strike 3 called, and that's challenging hitters. 93 inside part. Tom Kohler goes 1-2-3 through the Orioles in the first. We're underway. Scoreless. players are not hitting but around the dugout an hour before game time, you get some autographs. Some Henderson Alvarez in there. Hey, come along. The Magical Mystery Tour. JM Lexus brings you Miami's lineup. D. Gordon, Marcell Ozuna, Giancarlo Stanton, Martin Prado, Justin Bour, and Christian Yelich. Hits very well in interleague play. He's 1 for 5 in the series. Denny Echeverria, Jonathan Solano behind the plate, and Tom Kohler hits 9th. In the box, D. Gordon. On the mound, Miguel Gonzalez.
Hey, it's had an interesting road getting to this point in his career. Miguel Gonzalez. He was non-drafted, signed by the Angels in 2004. He's had injuries in his career. Boston Rule 5'd him. He was released by the Red Sox. Missed 08 and 09. Tommy John had knee surgery, back surgery.
Gordon Bunning flips it back up off the screen, and it's 1-2. I'll tell you what, though, since last year, his ERA is 3.22, one of the best in the American League. You're talking about a guy, as you see, wasn't drafted, has really had to climb through a lot to get to the big leagues. Once he's arrived, he really has settled into this Baltimore rotation. This is his 4th year in the Baltimore rotation. You could thank not only the minor leagues, but also the Mexican League. 5 years in Mazatlan. And Buck Showalter certainly appreciates what Miguel Gonzalez means to the Orioles. Little tapper up the line at first. Davis has it and gets to the bag and beats D. Gordon.
All right, here's the defense for the Baltimore Orioles in this one today. They've committed 26 errors. David Luff, Adam Jones, Alejandro De Aza in that outfield. Machado, he's played great defense in this series. Everett Cabrera, saw him with San Diego the last few years. Jimmy Paredes, hot with the bat. Davis at first, and Lavarnway behind the plate for the first game of this series.
Not sure what that was from Marcell Ozuna. Whether it was just a token swing after he took a pitch that was down the middle or not. But the count's 0-1. Ozuna, then Stanton. Gonzalez misses up and in. There's Stanton.
Rich, I'm just thinking we could have sent a text to Jorge Cantu or Meziga, maybe to get a scouting report on Miguel Gonzalez.
Well, as you noted, before video, you had to go to other means to get a scouting report.
That's what you do, too.
And even if you haven't seen a guy like Gonzalez, there's always somebody in the clubhouse that has, and it just so happens that that guy is Ichiro, who has 19 at-bats against him. That one smacked into right field, a base hit by Ozuna. So Marcell Ozuna, a line drive hit, and brings up Stanton. Scouting report on this right-hander out of Jalisco, Mexico.
Good job by Marcell Ozuna. Throws strikes, a little herky-jerky. You watch that delivery, and the changeup that he uses has a split finger-type grip, so it'll dive downward. And he's not afraid to throw fastballs inside.
So Ozuna's at first. Giancarlo Stanton now. Stanton in a rut right now. He's 3 for his last 27. Takes a fastball for a strike.
It's been kind of an all-or-nothing homestand for Giancarlo.
That one off of the glove of Gonzalez. The turn at short by Cabrera is in time to get Stanton. A double play. Turn by the Orioles. An inning in. No score.
Marlins Baseball es presentado en español vía SAP por Kendall Toyota.
Go Marlins! Let's go! Let's go Marlins! We're gonna win today, let's go!
He's ready. He's got the little earbuds going for the radio broadcast. Got his glove, and he gets to watch one of the premier players in the game, Adam Jones, climb in the box. Chris Davis, Everett Cabrera to follow for the Orioles against Tom Kohler. And Kohler misses up to Adam Jones. Scoreless ball game, top of the second, a 1-2-3 first for Kohler. Jones is 2 for 11 in this series.
Yeah, the Marlins, Rich, have done a nice job controlling the guy who's 8th in the American League with his batting average. Batting average at .323 coming into the game.
It's one of the best parts about interleague baseball, getting to see a guy like Chris Davis, who's had some immense power numbers in Baltimore, getting to see Adam Jones, who is really a complete player. 1-2. Broken bat down the line, and it's foul. And it stays at 1-2. Jones out of San Diego. Lots of all-star appearances, multiple gold gloves. As we documented, one of those young players that an organization had and felt they had a surplus for whatever reason and needed a pitcher. Seattle had Adam Jones. It's long before Buck Showalter got to Baltimore, and they dealt him to Baltimore along with 2 other all-stars. Chris Tillman, who's in the rotation. George Sherrill's long gone from the bullpen. It's a strikeout. Eric Bedard, who flamed out in Seattle. And of course, Jones has grown to be one of the best in the game.
Boy, some good stuff early on from Tom Kohler. He's got the slider, the curveball, but also the fastball working for him. He's been able to locate it extremely well.
Big swing by Chris Davis. Davis, in last night's ball game, had a rough ride. He was 0 for 6 with 4 strikeouts. Marlins defensive shift brings Prado over that first base side.
Yeah, Davis hitless in the series. He's 0 for 9 in the series.
He's in a rut as well. We talked about Stanton's drought. Davis is 3 for his last 36. That's over a 10-game span with 12 strikeouts. But the danger with Davis is he can lock in a moment, and when he gets hot, he'll go on one of those week to 2 week binges and hit 7 or 8 home runs.
He's a guy, if you make a mistake, he is a guy you can pitch to if you stay under his hands and in. But out over the plate, if you make mistakes, he can get hot and he can hurt you.
2013 an all-star. He had 53 homers. Fastball in.
Good pitch.
Orioles hitting coach Scott Coolbaugh, who is in the Texas organization, has some experience with Davis. Opened his career with the Rangers. That's a really nice breaking ball from Kohler. He has punched out the last 3 he's faced. Pitch number 5, plenty of the plate and right in that lower quadrant on Fox Tracks. You can vote in the All-Star game for your Marlins or anybody in Major League Baseball. 2015 Esurance All-Star Game ballot is out. 35 times you can vote. Do it on your computer, on your tablet, your smartphone, your watch, your handheld. Marlins.com. Place to go. Everett Cabrera, light-hitting shortstop. We saw a lot of him in a Padre uniform, just off the disabled list. And he adds depth up the middle for Baltimore. Gets a start on this Sunday.
Boy, you love the way Tom Kohler is approaching the hitters. Not taking a lot of time. Good changeup there. I mean, he's used all of his pitches. By the way, the Chris Davis strikeout, 62nd time he struck out this year.
Season's not even in June yet. That's in. So he's on a 200 strikeout pace. 2-2 to Cabrera. First time through for Kohler. Did he go? No swing.
Good job by Jonathan Solano, though, with 2 strikes, knowing that, okay, if he did swing, he's got to make sure he keeps that ball in front of him. And he did.
Very good receiver. It's a foul ball. Bohr fielding that behind the bag.
Yeah, you think about the strikeouts. The Orioles last night struck out 15 times. But we talked about the Marlins bullpen striking out 9 in the 7 innings they worked. Dan Herron had 6. That adds up to 15. They went down a lot last night.
One of the things these two teams share is a lack of runs in the month of May. Gordon over to get it. Cabrera can run, and he's out by a narrow margin at first. Tom Cole looking sharp. Scoreless ball game here. Rich Waltz along with Tommy Hutton. We certainly are headed to Pittsburgh. Memorial Day is tomorrow. All teams around baseball will be wearing a unique uniform. For the Marlins, the bill of their caps will have camo. They'll have some camo sleeves. The numbers and the Miami on the front of the road gray jerseys are also in camo. You'll see that around baseball. And I'm looking forward to it. Pittsburgh, as you noted, Tommy, is a place that really does things like that right.
Yeah, they do a good job, and I'm sure we'll have a nice fireworks display after the game. We talked about it. Maybe you and I can catch it as we walk back over the Roberto Clemente Bridge.
Now, as we look at the camo and the cap, you brought up a great question before the ballgame, wondering if Giancarlo Stanton's going to wear a camo sleeve. We've seen him wear the Stars and Stripes sleeve. There's a shot into left field, a base hit by Martin Prado.
Well, we'll have to wait for tomorrow.
And by the way, these caps are available at the Marlins gift store, and some of the proceeds from this sale go to a great cause. So Marlins gift store has these camo build caps. Justin Bour now.
Yeah, Martin Prado just continuing where he left off last night. 6th walk-off hit in his career last night, and he starts things with a base hit today.
Christian Yelich will follow. Bour 2 for 10 with a home run. His home run was to left field. There is Yelich waiting. It's interesting, the infield really has shifted for Bour. They bring Manny Machado out almost at shortstop. We've seen Bour get a couple of hits down the third base line.
Yeah, we have. He's really made an effort to try to drive more balls that way. And you mentioned the home run. Of course, his home run was into left center. There's that split changeup, a good one from Gonzalez.
He truly is a pitcher. He has 4 pitches that he throws, all of them well.
See the grip, see the rotation.
Now with 2 strikes, that shift becomes even more pronounced. And Bour cracks one into right field. A base hit. De Aza races over to get it. Bour's not stopping. Headed for second. Strong throw. He's in there. Ball gets away. Prado holds at third.
Super job. No defense for that base hit there. It don't matter what kind of shift you put on. Good AB by Justin Bour. What I really liked is the fact he had this ball in front of him. He knew where the outfield was. He knew how he hit the ball, and he never hesitated. He challenged an outfield that leads the major leagues with 12 assists. He challenged it, and he beat the throw. Second and third, nobody out.
That sets up nicely now for Christian Yelich. Echeverria on deck. Prado's at third. Bour's at second. Infield back, except for Machado, who's even at third. Yelich fouls it at the plate. There have been signs over the last 5 days, signs that Christian Yelich is starting to climb out of it. Good at bats, better at bats, has taken some walks, hit some balls hard. That one off his foot, and it's fouled.
You know, it was great to see before the game. You see guys every once in a while get an opportunity to chat with other players. Christian Yelich, 23-year-old, talking to Manny Machado, 22-year-old. A couple of guys who are going to be around for a long time.
Gonzalez 0-2. And Yelich just trying for contact.
There you go. You ask and you receive. A couple of young stars.
Yelich battling behind the count 0-2. Runners second and third. Pitch is out. Hitting at 0-2, Tommy, is not an easy task, especially in the big leagues.
You realize the average, of course it's 1-2 now, but the major league average on an 0-2 count is below 200.
Yelich grounded to first. That's going to score a run. Prado was running on contact. Bour goes to third. Marlins accomplish 2 things. Yelich gets an RBI and moves a runner within 90 feet. And with 1 out, it's a 1-0 Miami lead.
One of my favorites, the 2-for-1. You love to see it. You make contact. Picked up the run and moved Bour over to third base. So you top that off with the nice base running of Justin Bour to get to second on his double. And then a couple of things accomplished by Christian Yelich.
Now let's see what Baltimore does with their infield. Looks like they're going to come in halfway and try to choke the run off. Denny Echeverria has been swinging it probably better than anybody in a Marlin uniform this last week. Pitch in the dirt. Echeverria's average over 300. Checks in at 307. 4 hits in this series. And a chance to add to that RBI total right now.
And what a great job he has done in that number 8 hole.
Funny thing is, this is almost like hitting 8, this situation. He's 7th in the lineup in this ball game, but with Jonathan Solano behind him, who's just 1 for 13.
Absolutely.
And Gonzalez thinking to himself, you know, a double play could get me out of this. It's very much like being in the 8th spot with a pitcher behind him. And Echeverria going out of the zone for that one. It's 1-2.
Which is okay. It's something I think he's grown accustomed to, hitting in that number 8 spot where he usually does.
You don't. Everyone focuses on D. Gordon at the top of that list. Echeverria has entered the top 5. In the dirt, Ryan Lavarnway, and they call it catcher in this one. Matt Wieters is about 7 to 10 days away. June 4th he's eligible. He's been here all weekend catching sim games, batting practice. Will go out and play in Double-A this week. Looks like the Orioles will have their all-star catcher back after Tommy John surgery last year. 2-2 coming.
Saw those numbers that you spoke of, the hits. The other thing with Echeverria, D. Gordon has 19 multi-hit games. Echeverria has 16.
Ground ball down the line. Bohr goes back to third. Throw across the diamond in time. Remember, you got Manny Machado there at third base, and Bohr is not the speediest of runners. I don't know if that went into the equation or not.
Yeah, that's a tough decision there. You either go all or nothing. You either go on contact. If he goes on contact, I don't think Machado, because of where he had to field the ball, I don't think Machado goes to the plate. If he does, I don't know if he throws him out. But you have to go instantly on contact when that ball's hit on the ground.
Goes up to Jonathan Solano to get this run home, though Gonzalez has bounced a few so far today. Look how far out Lavarnway's set. And Gonzalez, man, that's fun to watch in the big leagues. You got a catcher who sets up 6 inches out, puts the glove down, and you got a pitcher whose breaking ball sweeps across and is right on target. It's back out in the same spot. That one was a little further out.
One of the big differences you see at this level than if you go down and watch some Double-A and Triple-A games.
Solano back to the mound. Gonzalez checks the signature and fires Rob Manfred over to first base in time. 1-0. Marlins on the board after 2.
Leading this ball game 1-0. We don't see him very often, but Joe Angel, the original voice of the Florida Marlins, is in the ballpark. He's been the voice of the Orioles for the last few years, standing just to my left in his Orioles orange. I got a chance to talk with him before the game. He finally remembers his 8 years with the Fish.
Hey, this is where, the Marlins are in the win column. That's where it was born, And in 1997, 5 years after the team was born, I got to say they were in the biggest win column of them all. So is it special? Oh, yeah.
His voice will always mean something to baseball fans in Florida, the first one to call games in the major league level in this state. And, of course, he called games for 4 years on radio before joining Tommy Hutton for some television. He did TV and radio up until the year 2000. Good to see one of the good broadcasters in the business, Joe Angel. Guys,
good to see that he's here because, Craig, I think he owes me a few bucks from the golf course. But always good to see Joe. Had
pretty
some
good golfer.
Nice conversations with him the last couple of days. Good to see him.
Makes his home in California now. He sold his Weston home a few years ago, he told me.
All right, thank you, Greg. Ryan Lavarnway is up. And the catcher takes a breaking ball for a strike. Lavarnway got to the big leagues first with the Boston Red Sox.
You would expect, Rich, a guy from Yale would be a premier catcher. Be able to handle a game, call a game. But he's been a serviceable backup catcher, Ryan Lavarnway.
Had a great college career. He was a semifinalist for the Johnny Bench and the Golden Spikes Award when he was at Yale. He only hit .467 sophomore season. He's out of Northern California. Pitch misses away to Lavarnway, and obviously Caleb Joseph and Lavarnway not only holding it down until Matt Wieters is back, but they'll still have to be in there maybe half the time initially. The Orioles, once Wieters is back, don't want him to play every day after Tommy John surgery. Kohler thought he had a strikeout.
Boy, that's that good curveball. Tom Kohler thought he dropped it in, and looks like he just missed it. That's the thing that's been early on impressive for TK. Sliders, curveballs, good changeups. The fastball's been there. Sometimes it takes a starting pitcher 2 or 3 innings to establish all of his pitches. On the other hand, in that feeling out process, first time around for the Orioles, they've got a chance to see them all.
Speaking of seeing it all, that guy doesn't miss much, does he?
No, he hasn't missed much in a very successful career.
Buck Showalter is so good at building championship teams. He did that with the Yankees from 92 to 95. Now, he was fired after 95, and then the Yankees went on their nice run. He did it with Arizona from 98 to 2000. Got him to the postseason. Was fired there. They won it the next year with Bob Brenly as the skipper, as Ozuna runs down the fly ball out. He had a nice run in Texas from 2003 to 2006. And now in his 5th year, he's delivered the Orioles to the postseason twice. Got as far as the American League Championship Series last year. Trying to take that next step and get Baltimore back to the World Series.
I was reading today, Buck Showalter just 3 wins away from Hall of Famer Whitey Herzog.
Alejandro De Aza cuts at the first pitch. Ozuna makes the catch.
You know, at times, and you look back at those years he was with the Yankees and then Arizona, you know, you would always hear, well, maybe he's a little too intense. He's tries to be a little too perfect with everything. Well, you know what? He did, and look what it accomplished in getting those teams to where they eventually got.
In college terms, they would call it cleaning up a program, right?
Yeah.
A program builder, a guy that would go in a troubled spot and all of a sudden change the culture, change the winning and losing.
And one who can respect the call of Dan Jennings last night to have his pitcher checked with the sticky stuff on his arm. Buck Showalter, he might not have liked it, but he can respect that.
You don't think he's not looking at Tom Kohler right now?
He's trying to figure out all kinds of stuff.
I mean, sure.
And by the way, DJ telling us Brett Butler was the one who spotted that initially.
Miguel Gonzalez, little tapper, first time through, no problem for Tom Kohler. He retires all 9 that he has faced. Miami has a 1-0 lead into the bottom of the 3rd. All the new metrics and defensive shifts, people think that's the new age of baseball, and we've seen it twice in this game already in just a couple of innings. This was the shift for Chris Davis.
I think with Davis, you're going to see it a little more accentuated.
Justin Bour, who actually singled into right over the shift. That's with a man at first base. Now, here's the funny thing. As we take a trip down memory lane, AT&T U-verse Rewind, more live TV channels on the go than cable. This is Ted Williams. This is back in the day against Williams.
The Williams shift.
And that's an actual Fleer baseball card for the Williams shift.
And that was before all the video and sabermetrics and ultimate zone rating. So nothing's new, as they say, Rich.
Here's the 0-1 to Tom Kohler. You got D. Gordon, Marcell Ozuna. Scheduled in the 3rd against Miguel Gonzalez. A Martin Prado single, Justin Bour double, and a Christian Yelich ground ball out. Gave the Marlins a 1-0 lead. Denny Echeverria couldn't get Justin Bour home from 3rd. His ground ball to 3rd was the 2nd out. Jonathan Solano bounced out, and that ended the Marlins' 2nd.
You know, I say nothing new is new, but you know what? Maybe a camo sleeve or a red, white, and blue sleeve that we saw Giancarlo wear on the 4th of July. Maybe those are a little new.
Kohler down on strikes. Well, on Memorial Day, you go back to the days of Ted Williams. Williams certainly served our country
tremendously meaningful for all those guys, especially who served in World War II, when they came back and played in the late 40s, early 50s.
I always think whenever it's 4th of July or Memorial Day, Veterans Day, I always think about our friend Jerry Coleman. In honor of Memorial Day weekend, Fox Sports proudly supports Folds of Honor and its mission of providing educational scholarships to families of military members who have been killed or disabled while serving our country. FoxSportsSupports.com for more information. FoxSportsSupports.com.
Boy, and on this special weekend, we continue to thank all of you for your service, for our freedom.
D. Gordon all tangled up in the box there. Count 1-2.
This is one you start to go after, and then you realize it's way inside, but you can't stop.
Gordon's ground ball, Paredes to his left, and he can't come up with it. Obviously, he had his clock accelerated by the speed of Gordon. It's going to be a base hit.
Yeah, it's funny how you have to take all of that into consideration when you're keeping score. And that's why you have to consider the speed. And Paredes, who's not the nimblest of second basemen, he's a DH. And he gets there, he tries to rush it because of the speed. And because of all that, he can't make the play. And D gets himself an infield hit.
Paredes would have had to be really clean on the spin and throw to get him. And so Gordon, whose stolen base numbers have taken a nice jump up in the last few days, was chased back by a throw. He swiped the bag last night, and he had that big night on Friday night.
Yeah, 4 stolen bases Friday night.
Ichiro and D. Gordon combined 27 infield hits. Gonzalez misses outside, and it's 1-0. And it's not just hitters that have that feeling out process for a starter, but base stealers who haven't faced Miguel Gonzalez get a chance to see his delivery, time his delivery to the plate. Little tapper off of Gonzalez's glove. Paredes throws, and I think he beat it. He did.
There's a situation, I don't know if they get 2, but they probably get at least 1 if the pitcher, Miguel Gonzalez, doesn't deflect it. He gets up and deflects it. It slows it up, and it allows Marcell Ozuna to get an infield hit. So back-to-back infield hit sets it up for Giancarlo.
Oftentimes you see an American League manager in a National League park get a guy like Paredes in for his bat, and why not? His bat's been terrific. But for Buck Showalter, if Jonathan Scope were here, he's on the disabled list. You might see Scope. If this were an American League game, Paredes might be DHing.
He's hitting over 350. That's why he's in the lineup.
2 infield hits, and now Stanton. This has all the makings of an inning that former Oriole manager Earl Weaver would love. Weaver, of course, loved that 3-run home run. And it's set up now with Stanton runners first and second. Speaking of Earl Weaver, saw a note the Orioles Hall of Fame has elected Melvin Mora. But if you go down further, they also are putting in the platoon of John Lowenstein and Gary Renicky,
who we talked about Friday night.
They're going in. They're going in together. Here's the 2-0, way out. You talked about it, Tommy, hitting at 3-0. I think it's something that Stanton is still learning in the big leagues.
It's a process, a learning process, and it's a comfort process. Do you feel comfortable in this situation on this particular pitch?
See what he gets. Oh, fastball. He had a pretty good rip at it.
That's
too.
all right. He had a good rip. And I think as the year goes on, you'll see Giancarlo become more comfortable, because he always has the green light.
On a 3-1 count. He's been patient. He's walked 9 times.
Boy, then you get that changeup. Nasty pitch. There's a split.
Will he see it again?
He has 2 options: up fastball, up hard, or go back to the split.
Bounces in the dirt, kicks away. It's a walk to Stanton. Gordon takes a big, healthy turn. And they are loaded for Martin Prado.
And he did not come close with that 3-2 pitch.
Miguel Gonzalez trying to find what he's searching for out on the mound. A couple infield hits, a walk to Stanton. Prado singled and scored in the second.
That base hit extends Martin Prado's hitting streak, 7 consecutive games now.
Orioles infield is back looking for 2. Pulls the ground ball to third. Machado backing up. Wheels, gets it out there. The relay not in time. And Miami gets a run. Good hard slide by Stanton at second. You see the magic of Machado at third. He made a terrific pickup and a strong throw to second.
Machado knew once he picked this ball, because of where he was, he had to fire it to second. It's a little low. Paredes sees a Giancarlo Stanton right at him. I don't think he would have thrown him out anyway, but a terrific slide by the big guy to make his awareness known to Jimmy Paredes.
Prado gets the RBI, and here's Bohr now. Remember the Orioles shift, and Bohr hit it over the head of Paredes into right fields. With runners at the corners, Baltimore really can't go into the full Monty of shifts, can they?
Now, the last time Bohr was up, there was a runner at first base as well. So they can't really go into the full shift, but a little one, and tough to turn 2 when you're in a shift this way. Don't need 2 outs anyway.
There's the liner, and it's right to Machado. Had they been in the shift with Machado over at short, that would have been a base hit. So it works out for the Orioles by not shifting. Whether it's a family celebration, networking event, or fundraiser, arrange your next group outing at Marlins Park. All new food and beverage options include VIP groups, all-you-can-eat seats, new Cleveland or Sunday brunch, 1-877-MARLINS, or go to marlins.com/groups. Tom Kohler getting ready to go in the fourth. Now, this will be the second time through the Orioles lineup. Last couple starts, we threw up that stat where Kohler had really struggled second time through the lineup, but he's erased it, at least in his last couple starts. He's been able to push through it. And
I think it's a mental thing at times, and I think because of that, see those numbers second time around, then they go back, then they come back. So it's, in that case, to me, it's a lot of it's just mental, and once he's gotten through it a couple of times, he'll be fine.
Two 2-0 Miami. Here is Manny Machado. He goes after the pitch and lifts it in the air to center. Ozuna is there, and he makes the catch. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority. The Marlins may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Marlins.
5 fly ball outs for Tom Kohler.
Here's David Lowe. Whoa. David Lowe fly to left back in the first.
I think the fly ball out's another indication as to why Tom Kohler has had success in this ballpark. Fly ball pitchers get a lot of deep fly ball outs here.
Sunday in Miami. Getaway day for the Marlins, heading to Pittsburgh and then on to New York.
Yeah, the Marlins will miss A.J. Burnett, who was absolutely tremendous last night against Matt Harvey and the Mets. They'll miss the lefty, Francisco Liriano, who's going today.
On a hot bore, backhands, flips, Kohler's there, and just beats Lowe to the bag.
Really nice by Justin Bour and Tom Kohler to get over there in a hurry as they talk about it after that nice play. Plants himself after a tough backhanded pick, and there's a perfect feed.
The Pirates, Andrew McCutchen, starting to feel a little better. He's had some knee issues.
Well, Kutch took Harvey deep. It was 3 for 4 last night.
Yeah, they knocked around the Dark Knight. Up the middle. D. Gordon dives on his knees. Got him with some help from Justin Bour, robbing Paredes of a hit. He is having a special year in Miami. The dive and the throw. Checkers. Get Checkers authentic Philly cheesesteak. Try the new meatball sub. Pick yours. D. Gordon certainly enjoying it. And here's Yelich. Echeverria and Solano to follow. Yelich bangs one into center field, and you can see it coming with Christian Yelich. Little by little. I mean, look, he's not going to go from 180 to 280 in a week, and I think that's one of the psychological hurdles you have to get over when you've struggled.
You know, and it was said by Dan Jennings, certainly a terrific evaluator, now the skipper, but it was said it's the first time that Christian Yelich has ever had struggles to this degree. He hit in the minor leagues. He had a terrific season last year, and it'll take some time, and that's where the patience comes in.
A little hit and run going there with the Yelich running, Echeverria hitting, and he fouls it off. Ball and a strike. Miguel Gonzalez been very good in the month of May. 3-1. He's beaten the Rays, the Jays, and Seattle. And Yelich chased back. Yelich involved in a variety of very close reviewable plays last night, trying to stretch a single into a second base, was safe, and then in the super slow-mo look, that play at second, he actually had come off the bag after sliding over it, trying to keep his hand on the bag. That one fouled back.
Which was a play. It was a play, Rich, that before instant replay, he's safe because an infielder puts the tag down. Okay, he meets the throw. Now, as we've talked about it, you bring it up a lot. That infielder, third baseman, second baseman, shortstop will keep the glove down there a long time.
So they keep it on the runner until the end of the play. Echeverria lines it into left field, and Echeverria continues to swing it. That's his 5th hit of this series. Now this is an interesting spot in the lineup for first and second and nobody out because Kohler's on deck and Jonathan Solano's coming up.
Yeah, this is a tough part. You know, if you had a different pitcher coming up who swung the bat a little bit better, you might think about bunt. You might think about hit and run if you had confidence in Jonathan as a guy who could make contact. You would think that to try to stay out of a double play.
Jonathan Solano bounced back to the mound is only at bat.
I think a lot of it, Rich, depends on how the count goes. And by Gonzalez getting in the first strike, it's important for him to do that.
Gets the second one over as well. It's 0-2. Good speed out there. Yelich at second, and Echeverria at first. For the Marlins, you hope that whatever dark cloud they've been living in for the last 10 days, and it's been a dark one with the managerial change, Mike Redmond's ouster, Dan Jennings' very unexpected arrival.
All those starting pitchers on the disabled list have added to that dark cloud.
We hope that that's starting to lift with the win last night. Early lead here. Solano gets jammed. Gonzalez looks, goes third in time. Boy, Machado was a long ways away from the bag and had to kind of dance across it as he made the catch. Marlins will look at it to see if Yelich in fact beat the throw.
Plus it took Gonzalez a while to get it out of his glove. It was he kind of double clutched, double pumped, and he got him out.
He's certainly out. That's a nifty play though from Machado.
You know, for a second it was almost a blessing that the ball wasn't hit as hard, because your first thought, that's not a double play ball, but unfortunately Gonzalez was able to get the lead run at third base.
So what do you do here? Do you bunt with Kohler to set up second and third and 2 outs?
Yeah.
What you're trying to avoid is Kohler himself hitting into a double play.
Absolutely. Tom Kohler's dropped down 3 sacrifice bunts.
Got D. Gordon on deck.
Matt Latos, the team leader in that department, with 6 amongst the pitchers.
Kohler squares, pulls it back, takes outside. Crashing from first is Chris Davis, not Crash Davis.
Crash with a K.
Yes.
Hey, the other thing you could tell Tom Kohler, and maybe that's why he brought that bat back, is okay, if the guys crash in from third and first, and if they get on you too closely, give it a shot. Go ahead and pull the bat back and just try to make contact.
Let's see how that affects Machado at third, Davis at first. Baltimore's run that same play twice now.
Well, they have Machado charging hard, and Cabrera, the shortstop, headed over to third.
The one downfall of that play, it's Paredes, who is the second baseman who covers on that wheel play there. Not the wheel play, the bunt play, but the pitcher wheeling. He's got to get to first to cover first on a bunt if he does bunt, and he's not.
Let's see, he had one shot. Let's see if it changes back to maybe a bunt situation, or if DJ just feels, you know what, Tom Kohler makes some contact.
Now the bunt. Gonzalez takes a peek at both bases.
And there's that play you were talking about, the long run for Paredes to have to get over to first base.
And he barely got there in time. So it's up to D. Gordon to cash these runs in. American tradition comes to Fox Sports 1 on June 18th. First time the greatest golfers in the world converge on the Pacific Northwest, just south of Tacoma, Washington. Chance to stamp their names in the history books. Exclusive coverage of the 115th U.S. Open Championship from Chambers Bay Golf Course, and it begins June 18th on Fox Sports 1 on Fox, and it streams live on Fox Sports Go.
Really nice job by Tom Kohler after he had a shot maybe to swing early on, but then dropped down a nice bunt to move the runners.
Now Gordon, infield hit and a ground ball out. Echeverria and Jonathan Solano trying to add to a 2-0 lead. Two and 0.
But one thing they've made the 30-year-old right-hander work. 67 pitches.
Just going to put him on and pitch to Ozuna with the bags loaded. Well, that certainly is respect, isn't it, from Buck Showalter?
Well, I mean, it's you've got the league's leading hitter and a tough guy to get out because of all the infield hits. However, Marcell Ozuna on a 5-game hitting streak, and he's 2 for 2 today.
And Ozuna can certainly do more damage per swing than a guy like Gordon in terms of slugging percentage and extra bases. So it's a bit of a gamble, and we'll see how it ends up.
Oddly enough, D. Gordon with one more RBI than Marcell Ozuna, though.
So it's Gonzalez against Ozuna. Bags loaded, he rips it into left. Echeverria scores, Solano scores, and Baltimore's gamble blows up.
Ozuna didn't waste any time to jump on the breaking ball. See the spin, it hangs up there. Beautiful shot. He was all over it. Even Manny Machado couldn't make that play.
It's a new metric, Tommy. DPS, damage per swing. 2 runs worth of damage for Marcell Ozuna.
Let me just give you an analogy, too, because there's been so much talk over the last week since Dan Jennings took over as to all the second guessers. The focus is on him. There's a play right there from a manager who's one of the best managers that's been around for a while, Buck Showalter, that a lot of people, especially Oriole fans, will second guess.
It's a special addition. Giancarlo Stanton gets to hit now, runners first and second. That's the other part of the gamble, is it gets Stanton closer to the plate. Now for Giancarlo, he's bounced into a double play and he's walked. Gordon's at second, Ozuna's at first. Great speed out there. Gonzalez doesn't look like he wants much to do with Stanton on that pitch, and he walked him back in the third. Neither bullpen is really fresh right now, is it?
You have a 13-inning game. The Orioles did get a little reinforcement today.
Yeah, they sent out T.J. McFarland. Chaz Rowe, a right-hander, up from AAA. Baltimore has their shift on right now against Stanton. 3 infielders on the third base side. With the runner at first, Chris Davis not as far over as you normally would see. 2-2. It's in. Well, let's see if that pitch sets up that split change that he's been throwing.
Got him 3-2 in the third inning, and when he walked him, looked like he broke off a breaking ball badly that almost was a wild pitch.
Runners on the move. Same thing. Yeah, gets him on the breaking ball, and the inning ends. But Miami gets 2 more and leads this ball game 4-0.
cartoonish bird back on the top of the Oriole caps, but it didn't start out that way. Baltimore Orioles came into existence in 1954. For 55 years, they've had some form of an actual Oriole bird on their cap. The early years, 9 seasons, they only had 2 winning seasons. They went to that B then in 63 for a year. They were 18.5 back of the Yanks. And then that bird came back. That was the chirping bird, followed by the very famous cartoonish bird. Well, that's where they had all their success. 19 winning seasons, 3 world championships. Then they had 3 different variations of the old bird from 1989 2011, and as you know, many losing seasons there. So they welcomed that cartoon bird back. It's a little slight variation from the original bird from 1966. The cap's a little different. They have O's on the cap now. But the big thing about that cartoonish bird return was they won. They returned back to the playoffs 2012. It was their first time over 500 in 14 years. Good timing, celebrating the 20th year of Camden Yards. I like the cartoonish bird. You guys?
I like it because when I was a kid, the first thing I saw of the Baltimore Orioles was that cartoonish bird. Brooks Robinson, Boog Powell, those great teams in the early 70s. They were beaten in the '69 World Series by the Mets. In '70, they beat the Reds. That was the series that Brooks Robinson dominated. They lost to the Pirates in the '71 World Series. Good pitch by Kohler, saws off Adam Jones and gets the out.
You just hope, though, that it hasn't upset the ornithologists going to the cartoon bird as opposed to the
actual bird?
The actual Oriole.
Baltimore Oriole?
Yeah.
I like cartoon bird. That run by Earl Weaver and the Orioles, 3 consecutive World Series. In '73 and in '74, they got to the American League Championship Series and were beaten by Oakland both of those years.
Was it '71 they ran up against the Pirates?
Yeah, it wasn't We Are Family.
That guy won a few games for him, Hall of Famer Jim Palmer.
But it was Roberto Clemente. Palmer in that '71 series started and won game 2. Pittsburgh won it in 7. And Miami is headed to Pittsburgh after this one for 3. Cold hard fact brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. In 1971, 4 20-game winners: McNally, Cuellar, Dobson, and Palmer. Since, there have been 13 20-game winners. 6 times it's been Palmer. Kohler thought he had a strikeout. Tug of the cap, and he did. That's a great pitch. That has a lot of the plate. Pat Hoberg missed it. Let's see if he can bounce back. He misses up to Chris Davis. So that's the first runner to reach. That's a tough way to lose a streak of perfection, so to speak. He retired the first 13 he'd faced. Felt he'd retired Davis. Everett Cabrera, shortstop for the Orioles. J.J. Hardy getting the day off.
Well, now Tom has to kind of rebound from a call that he thought didn't go his way, and it should have. He has to rebound with the first base runner and limit the damage.
Up the middle into center field. Cabrera's got a hit. And that brings up the catcher, Ryan Lavarnway. This is where you get tested as a pitcher, right? And something goes wrong where he makes the pitch he wanted, he doesn't get the call. Now you've got to be careful that it doesn't snowball.
Yeah, that's been an issue at times with Tom Kohler. So let's see. He's got the one advantage. He's got the bottom part of the order. He's got a guy who doesn't run well, a guy who could hit a double play ball.
Kohler gets a strike. Fastball command sets up everything. I mean, you talk to Chuck Hernandez about any of his starters. That's kind of where he starts.
You command that fastball, the other stuff falls into place. And sometimes maybe the other stuff isn't there, but if you're commanding the fastball, that'll still get you by. Looking ahead, possible pinch hitter, Jazz Rowe starts to get loose.
It's a little different than pitching in Norfolk, right? Suddenly he's warming up next to the Clevelander. Yesterday he was in AAA.
There's probably a little more ambiance down there than there is in Norfolk.
Think so? There are no losing streaks in the Clevelander, are there? I guess that's why the Marlins ended up in the pool last night. Check swing, no swing. It's 1-2. The symbolism of that last night, Dan Jennings and his ball club, most of them ending up in that pool. That went to left. Yelich is there. The symbolism, Tommy's pretty thick, isn't it? We talked about the dark cloud as a ball club. Obviously, the Marlins, a troubled group this last week. The firing of Mike Redmond, Dan Jennings, the surprise going from GM to manager, Stanton, Yelich, just the fact Mike Morse is in there,
Ozuna.
Just the fact that his ball club celebrated with him his first win and then took him down and threw him in the pool.
Yeah. Some great symbolism there.
Yes. And it, as we said earlier, as if you're a fan of the Marlins, the hope is that that dark cloud starts to dissipate and it's washed away with some wins. Alejandro De Aza flied to center. Sends that one to left center. Ozuna on the run in the gap looking up, and he's got it. And Kohler, who didn't get the call earlier in the inning, doesn't let it bother him and hangs on to his shutout. Fox Sports Florida Fantasy Auction is coming up, and the baseball this year is an autographed D. Gordon baseball. even the folks, now those are cool. That's a Tommy Bahama drink coaster, a Christian Yelich Gold Glove replica, Fox Sports 1 water bottle, a dry fit Fox shirt. There's some cool stuff in the pledge packs. Fitted legacy caps. That may be the best pledge pack promo I've ever seen, Tommy Hutton, and this will be the 10th time we have the Fox Sports Fantasy Auction.
Oh, you were reading a promo?
Tom Kohler in the dugout right now, 4-0. Miami on top. Marlins have Martin Prado. Says hello to you too. Justin Bour and Christian Yelich. June 3rd against the Cubs. That's the look that Prado had last night, right?
After the walk-off hit.
With the bubblegum bucket.
That's a first. I don't think I've seen that before.
I will say, more so than any sport, the celebrations in baseball are getting more and more creative. I love what the Washington Nationals are doing with the Hershey's syrup, where instead of shaving cream in a guy's eyes, it's chocolate sauce on his head.
I was reading the other day where they've been given a big shipment by Hershey's as well. So they love the advertising.
I've seen the gum and the seeds go on guys' head. Now, I would not recommend what happened to Logan Morrison in Seattle a couple weeks ago. He had a walk-off hit, and I think it was Nelson Cruz that dumped the garbage can on it. Fastball in. Prado got hit last night in the hand. And he gets buzzed there, and it's 3-2. Marlins with their Nerf ball slam dunks with D. Gordon have been pretty creative. As long as nobody gets hurt.
As long as nobody gets hurt, it's fine. And people are always saying, well, baseball kind of is behind everything. They don't show the emotion. And in a way, I agree. It's fun to see that. And especially last night with the way the week had gone for the Marlins.
Here was last night. Now, in watching the video, that's a very good form tackle by Jose Fernandez, and then D. Gordon with the windmill jam. And again, you hold your breath, but it's a catharsis of sorts last night for the Marlins for sure. Prado is really eating up pitches here. This will be number 10 from Miguel Gonzalez to open the 5th inning. Bottom of. And he shoots off another one.
Speaking of pitches and pitchers, with the shutout last night, 5 shutout innings here, you go back one more game, 19 straight scoreless innings the Marlins pitchers have worked against the Orioles.
Prado keeps taking those fastballs and getting a piece. Gonzalez, to his credit, keeps throwing strikes. So 11 pitches in the at-bat. Memorial Day weekend. Marlins home here, headed to Pittsburgh tomorrow night. Prado drives it left center and deep. Low goes back, and it's gone. What an at-bat of the 12th pitch. Martin Prado pumps it out. 5-0 Miami.
Wow, you talk about patience. You talk about a tremendous at-bat. You just saw it from Martin Prado. And it culminated in his 3rd home run of the year. Here comes the fastball after fouling off pitch after pitch. This one he drives into deep left center.
Great look from the Budweiser balcony. "12 pitches. Seven foul balls in that 12 pitch at bat. of course, if you have your own pitch tracking widget, which comes with MLB at Bat, you can follow along at home or on the road, wherever you might be. Justin Bour takes out. Bour is hit it hard twice. We may be seeing the end of the line from Miguel Gonzalez. Dave Wallace, Orioles pitching coach, on his way out.
Yeah, I think because of the nature of the game last night, the leash is probably a little longer on Gonzalez. I'm sure the master plan of Buck Showalter, because Gonzalez is the first hitter next inning, was to try to get him through this inning. But the Marlins are trying to prevent that.
Now Yelich, nobody out, Bour's at first. Yelich knocked in a run with a ground ball out. That was in the second. A solid single to center in the fourth. Count 0-2.
Yeah, the hardest thing, we were talking about it last AB, Christian Yelich when he singled. Hardest thing for any player, and especially a young player, to have the patience is you look up on the scoreboard, you see where your average is. You want to have it be at 280 right away, and it's just not going to happen.
Breaking ball misses in. Yeah, and it's hard because you wake up in the morning, you know what you're hitting. If you read the paper, it's there. Come to the ballpark, it's up on the scoreboard. And you can't do it all at once, no matter how hard you try. Another ground ball into right field, a base hit for Yelich, and you can see it coming with him.
And that's what you just have to keep doing. Keep trying to, as the term you hear Frank Menachino likes to use it, trust the process. And just keep trying to put together good at bat after good at bat.
Buck Showalter has seen enough. He's on his way. Yelich this week probably had 4 or 5 balls like that, sharp ground balls that were diving catches. This one gets through. Kendall Toyota called to the bullpen. Chaz Rowe coming in for the Orioles. Hits, 4+ innings. So far 5 runs. He's responsible for Bour at second, Yelich at first. Chaz Rowe takes over just up from AAA. And he's got a Danny Echeverria who's 1 for 2. And Rowe throws a strike.
And in a double switch, the Orioles have a new right fielder, Travis Snyder.
Travis Snyder, he had that slide at the plate last night. So close on the great throw from Marcell Ozuna. And Echeverria cuts and misses. It's 0-2. Echeverria fouls it back. Seemingly every Marlin has contributed in this one. If not with a hit, at least a walk or a fielder's choice. I think importantly, Miami's first 2 runs came without a base hit driving that run in. Marlins knocked in a pair of runs on ground ball outs, the second and the third. This at bat starting to look like Prado's a little bit. Martin Prado opened this 5th inning with a 12 pitch at bat, fouling off 7 pitches.
He kind of wore down Miguel Gonzalez.
And then blasting one out to left center, getting up over the scoreboard on the wall. 1-2. I think he may have gone there. Yes, he did. Andy Fletcher, the first base umpire. Jonathan Solano now with 1 out. Prado is a guy, and wouldn't be surprised if he gets a day off in Pittsburgh, possibly Wednesday.
You kind of look ahead, and if there is a player that you'd like to do that to, you think about Wednesday because it is a day game, and then the next day is an off day, so that way you get a couple of days off.
Solano's bounced out to the mound, and then a fielder's choice.
Then again, it's easier to do that if you're in first place by 3 or 4 games.
Amen. Amen. Counts 0-2. Tom Kohler's on deck. Jonathan Solano fouls it back. 0-2. Look at that. That's rain. It's odd because we're looking out the windows, and as you pan to the right of downtown, it's actually clearer in the south part of the city. But from that point up north, it's a lot of rain and really hard to see out and see anything.
Certainly a guy who can appreciate that. We had a little clip from Joe Angel earlier in the game, all the delays he had to deal with.
Machado bobbles, gets it out there. That's it. He had a catcher running, but to go 5-4-3 on a deep ground ball, it's got to be clean, and that one wasn't.
A clean pick, and it's a double play.
Well, the Orioles can still go after Kohler here with 2 outs.
Kind of climbed up the heel of the glove, a little fumble with it.
Pitch misses in. It's 1-0 to Kohler.
Probably has been a fun series for Manny Machado. High school about 10 minutes away.
And fun for us to get to see him play.
Yeah. Now that part of downtown Miami that was a little brighter is dark as well.
Ball and strike. Marlins Park finishing off this homestand, which has seen an awful lot, right? Marlins opened the homestand against Atlanta. Lost those first three. Mike Redmond was fired on that Sunday.
It hasn't been your ordinary homestand.
And then the surprise hiring of Dan Jennings. Jennings dropping his first 5 as a big league manager. Marlins losing streak stretched to 8. It ended last night in not the easiest of fashions. Neither team had scored a run into the 13th, and the Marlins finally got one on Martin Prado's RBI hit to win it. Kohler putting up a good fight. As we said at the outset of the telecast, if you followed what's happened here in the last week, the hope was that last night would carry over into this ball game, and it looks like it has. And then you hope that if the Marlins do win this game, it carries over to the road trip.
Yeah, you can see certainly the weight lifted off DJ's shoulders. You can just tell talking to him today.
Kohler goes down on strikes. Inning ends, but a Martin Prado homer makes it 5-0.
Nothing. Time for our Geico Marlins moment. It happened 9 years ago, June 22nd, 2006. Forever connecting the Orioles and the Marlins. The Fish were down 5-1 in this game. They did get the extras, and Miguel Cabrera in the 10th inning took that Todd Williams intentional pass offering. He said, I'm not going to go to first without earning my way there. And he hit it into center field, and Hanley Ramirez scored on the play. The Marlins scored 3 in the inning. Taylor Tankersley was excited as they won 8-5. That was a game they trailed 5-1 in the 9th inning. Joe Borchardt and Wes Helms both had pinch hit homers in that game off a guy named Chris Ray, who was 18 for 18 in save opportunities coming into that moment. So it was a good win for the Marlins, one Joe Girardi called the best game they played all year, but forever remembered for what Miguel Cabrera called, guys, it was just too close to the plate. He took advantage of it.
Now, Craig, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that was the first major league team in history to be 20 games under 500 and then get back to 500, or maybe the first in a long, long time.
I think you're right. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, you remember the Mermaids used to dance in front of the Marlins dugout, and but Girardi moved them over to the visiting dugout, and I think one of the players said, if we get back to 500, could we move them back? And Girardi said, once they got the 500, we're playing too well. Let's leave them over there.
Yeah, well, superstition.
You know, when people see that clip of Miguel Cabrera hitting that real slow, what was to be an intentional ball, that's not that easy for guys who are used to hitting pitches 95 miles an hour. That could very easily have been popped up. You just hit a little weak ground ball. But not when you're as good as Miguel Cabrera.
Travis Snyder leading off for the Orioles here in the 6th. Manny Machado, David Lowe. Tom Kohler, 5 innings in, has allowed just 1 hit. Snyder came in the double switch, pops it up. Echeverria makes the catch. Book your next group outing at the Clevelander Marlins Park. Happy hour pricing, all weekday home games for just $20 per person. Plus, the Clevelander now offers brunch before all Sunday home games, featuring $5 mimosas and Bloody Marys. 1-877-MARLINS. Go to marlins.com/groups. That's right. I think they're celebrating the $5 mimosas right there.
Yeah, you won't see that in Pittsburgh.
No, I don't think we will. Some pierogies, but not. There's Machado. Now look at downtown Miami.
Now it's starting to clear up.
We who inhabit South Florida know that quite well. 1 minute it's an absolute shower. The next minute the sun's back on.
Driving south from Palm Beach County, you might get a little rain in Boynton, and it clears up by Boca.
Kohler misses badly in and walks Machado. The number 2 hitter David Lowe is coming up. Jonathan Solano out there trying to make sure that Tom Kohler stays on the straight and narrow here. Chuck Hernandez watching. He has to be pretty darn pleased with what he has seen today and what he saw last night.
Oh, yeah.
Dan Haren didn't have his best stuff, but he was able to shut down the Birds for 6 innings. Sam Dyson, Mike Dunn, A.J. Ramos, Brian Morris, Carter Capps.
Pitch count in great shape right now for Tom Kohler. And there's no mystery. The deeper your starters go, the better your bullpen gets.
That's one right by Bohr. Stanton picks it up, runner headed to third. Stanton's throw all the way through. At the corners now for Baltimore. David Lowe with a hit. And that'll bring up Jimmy Paredes. Next month, the FIFA Women's World Cup begins. Alex Morgan and the U.S. Women's National Team will face off against the best teams in the world in search of their 3rd World Cup championship. The only place you can see the 2015 FIFA Women's World Cup is on Fox and Fox Sports 1 beginning June 6th. Vancouver. Great setting for the Women's World Cup. U.S. women start in Winnipeg, the World Cup all over Canada. A walk to Machado, a single by David Lowe. Jimmy Paredes yanks that one foul. Baltimore Orioles last year were one of the best teams in baseball. They won 96 games. Swept Detroit in the division series, got blitzed by the hot Kansas City Royals in the American League Championship Series, and they sit 3 back today with the surprising Rays 4 over and 1.5 up in the East.
How about the last couple of games between Texas and the Yankees? 15-4, Texas over the Yankees. Garrett Jones threw 2/3 of an inning last night.
Over towards the line. Yelich is there. Runner tags. Yelich makes the catch. Runner coming home. Throw comes home. And he is safe. And moving to second is David Lowe. And Baltimore has a run. Yelich had a decision to make. He took a shot at the plate.
You know, a lot of this is you have to know the score. And I think it's worth the shot with the score the way it is. Because it was very close. You give Lowe credit for tagging and going to second. A little different score, different inning. They used to say years ago, just play the game as the scoreboard tells you. And that'll let you know what to do. Do I hit and run here? Can I sacrifice? What's the score? How many outs are there?
2 outs here is Adam Jones. Goes after the first pitch and pops it up. Shallow left. Echeverria under and makes the catch. And Tom Kohler limits the damage to just a run. 5-1 Miami going to the bottom of the 6th. Rob Manfred's signature on that baseball. And here is Tom Gordon, or excuse me, D. Gordon. Puts down the bunt and fouls it off. The Orioles in their day saw a lot of his father when he was a Boston Red Sox in the American League East. D. Gordon is 1 for 2 infield hit. It's bounced out. Was intentionally walked in the 4th. Marlins getting hits all over their lineup. Marcell Ozuna in the 2 spot has 3 hits. Martin Prado 2 hits, 2 RBIs, including a homer. All in support of Tom Kohler.
Always had the same attack mode the whole game.
An interesting moment in that 4th inning. D. Gordon up. And Buck Showalter, after Miguel Gonzalez fell behind Gordon, ordered an intentional walk. Fly ball left. Lowe has room. It was just the 2nd intentional walk this season and the 4th intentional walk for Gordon in his career. D. Gordon is out. Here's Marcell Ozuna. Ozuna made Showalter pay, lining a shot into left, driving into the walk, intentional walk to D. Gordon, loaded the bases with 2 outs. That was in the 4th.
I think it's a situation, Rich, where you have Marcell Ozuna in the number 2 spot. I don't think we'll see it all year. We can see Christian Yelich back in the number 2 spot. But right now, he's got things going. You win a couple of games, you stay with it.
Yelich with 2 hits in this ball game, and he drove in a run on a ground ball out as well. And Ozuna sprays a liner to right, and Snyder almost came in too far, has to leave his feet to make the catch. Boy, Ozuna's looked good today. Here comes Stanton. South Florida Honda dealers, get you ready for Marlins Live Memorial Day tribute tomorrow. It's a big night. It's always a fun night, and certainly a great honor to talk about veterans and what Memorial Day means to the country. And baseball is so fortunate to play their games during a lot of national holidays, 4th of July, Memorial Day. We were wondering, we took a look at the cool camo caps. I don't know if we've had get a shot of the camo jerseys. We tweeted that out on the Fox Marlins Twitter site for tomorrow. You wonder if Stanton's sleeve that he wears will be either the red, white, and blue sleeve or maybe a camo sleeve. Giancarlo has done that in the past. Lays off a breaking ball, and it's 3-1. Fastball for a strike from Rowe. A dozen homers, 40 driven in for Stanton. Man, on the outfield grass, how many times do you see a third baseman feel the ball while standing on the outfield grass? Machado does, and he gets Stanton. 5-1 Miami. We're going to play a little game here. All right, in the gift store last year, one of the big hits were the college-themed caps. Marlin caps with the local college colors. So we're going to play a game. They've got these cool shirts. So which college, Tommy Hutton, is this?
That would maybe be Central Florida.
Very good. Central Florida. All right. Which college is this?
We're going with FIU.
Good call. Now this is an easy one.
Florida State.
Florida State. And
we saved that one for last for our producer, the Gators.
Marlins Team Store has got these college-themed Marlin shirts to go with the Marlin caps. There's your Gator look.
It's a good look. I'll hold the Gator one.
And that's Florida State. Now, if you're a Miami fan, you're going, well, what happened? Where's Miami? The University of Miami is not participating in the program, so to speak, but there's always
time.
There's
maybe
always
next
time.
year.
Maybe FAU can get in on it. South Florida can get in on it. But anyways, these 4 schools have got not only the shirts, but also the caps. There's the shirts.
Not sure I should have the FSU and Florida ones together, but
but the caps are really cool too. It's the Marlin caps. It's the new era cap, and they're in the team store.
Very nice stuff.
Those caps sold quite well last year, and the T-shirts are a nice addition this year.
Tell Robin down at the team store that we sent you.
Yes. And the team store, you can go. If you come into the ballpark, there is a team store in the ballpark. But the team store outside the ballpark, right in the plaza area, is actually much bigger and has a wider selection of everything you want in Major League Baseball and Marlin gear. Tom Kohler venturing into the 7th. He's 2-2 on Chris Davis. Holds it foul. Davis has walked and struck out. Kohler has been magnificent in this game. A run on 2 hits.
Tom Kohler has done everything you want after a 13-inning game where you've had to use your bullpen.
That foul tip found home plate umpire Pat Hoberg.
We talked about it, Rich, a little bit before the game, earlier in the game, about when the Marlins will need another starter, and it looks like it'll probably be Tuesday that Dan Jennings, his staff, they'll get together and make a decision. Andre Rienzo and Vin Mazzaro, who are in the bullpen, will likely pitch out of the bullpen. It is a possibility one could start. Rienzo actually has had 7 starts in AAA. But it also could be somebody called up from AAA as well. Jose Urena would be a possibility.
Liner to left center. No one's playing there. Yelich and Ozuna cut it off. Chris Davis charges into second with a leadoff double. With 3 starters on the DL, 4 if you want to count Jose Fernandez. Marlins needed reinforcements, and they get it with Rienzo and Mazzaro. Mazzaro going back to Pittsburgh, where he was a nice piece in their bullpen as a swing guy.
And by the way, in case you're wondering, Justin Nicolino threw 7 innings last night, gave up just 2 runs, and ran his record to 4-1 with an ERA in the low 2s. So another possibility.
Everett Cabrera now. Was it this part of the lineup in the 5th inning where Tom Kohler passed the test? And that was after 1 was out. He threw a pitch to Chris Davis that had strike 3 written all over it, and it certainly was a strike on Fox Tracks.
Came back, good change up there.
And Kohler came back after giving up a hit to Cabrera. Davis would walk on that at bat. Get the last 2 outs and not let anybody score in an inning that certainly he was able not to let that call get under his skin.
It's the first time in this game the Orioles have their leadoff man at second base.
2-2. Ryan LaVarnway on deck Everett Cabrera, a 1-for-2 game. Always known for his speed and his glove. Count stays at 2-2.
You talked about the bullpen and the work they did last night. The work never stops for Chuck Hernandez, Marlins pitching coach. He has the starters to deal with, certainly the bullpen. And even today, after a late game last night, saw him coming in from the bullpen, having worked some with Steve Cishek.
Three and two. That last pitch. Boy, that's another missed call. Solano fooled a bit, but still, it's almost right dead center. And it's a costly non-call again. Kohler looks like he's going to be tested in the same spot in the order here with a very similar situation. Here comes Lavarnway with first and second, nobody out. You can have your own suite here at Marlins Park, behind home plate, down the first base line, and you can rent it for just one game. Suites accommodate groups from 16 to 70, offer upscale contemporary furnishings, feature great food and beverage options. 1-877-MARLINS or go to marlins.com/groups. There is Chuck Hernandez talking to his starter, a little pat on the shoulder there. Trying to get him through.
And this certainly is not, doesn't appear to be a conversation. There's a little activity now. Sometimes you have a conversation like this to allow the bullpen to work, but they're working slowly. This was just to reinforce some things with Tom Kohler. It's like Brian Morris, Brad Hand getting loose. Brian Morris going back to Pittsburgh as well. You mentioned Vin Bizarro.
Lavarnway has flied out twice. You're into the 7, 8, 9 spot in the order with runners at first and second.
Look out in Pittsburgh. We mentioned Andrew McCutchen, a home run last night against Harvey. A home run today against Jonathan Neese. 3 home runs his last 4 games now for Andrew McCutchen.
Kohler misses out, and you got a hitter that's not real accomplished in Lavarnway. He is 3 for 26 on the season. And on deck, you got Delman Young waiting, a much more potent and dangerous bat.
Who is very accomplished.
Yes, and so it would behoove Kohler to get Lavarnway, at least try to start through this inning and get some outs rather than put him on base and have to face a guy that could tie it with one swing. .2-0 pitch coming. High pop on the 2-0 pitch. Bohr makes the catch. That is an enormous out for Tom Kohler.
That's a nice gift. Falling behind 2-0. And then getting the pop fly out. Delman Young had a big pinch hit the other night, Friday night.
Delman Young.
Pinch hit double. Drove in a run in the 5th inning.
Delman Young is 29. Had a really nice 83 games last year with the Orioles. Got into the postseason for the 6th consecutive time. That's amazing. 2 years with Minnesota, 2 years with Detroit, including a World Series. the Rays in 13, and Baltimore last year. Chris Davis at second. Good speed with Everett Cabrera at first. 2-0 pitch. And it's fouled back. Kohler got an out on a 2-0 pitch. The pop up to Lavarnway, and he gets a strike on that 2-0 pitch. It's 2-1. Travis Snyder on deck. Two and two.
It's another part of that repertoire that Tom Kohler's used so well today. Good slider to a tough hitter.
Delman Young, foul. Stays at 2 and 2. It's been a Jonathan Solano day behind the plate. David Phelps gets the ball tomorrow night in Pittsburgh on Memorial Day. It's Charlie Morton. Pitch is out. Count full now. Dangerous hitter. Miami's lead is 4. Let's see what Kohler goes with on 3 and 2.
This is where, if you're Tom Kohler, your goal has to be, let me get through this 7th inning. That has to be your mindset.
And he lost him. He loses Delman Young, and here comes a lefty bat with some pop in Travis Snyder. Dan Jennings, Miami's manager, is on his way out. Two walks in the inning. The Davis double opened the inning. And Kohler will not finish the inning. As he comes out, Marlins go to their bullpen. Bags loaded. 1 out, a 5-1 Miami lead. Kendall Toyota called to the pen. Enter now for a chance to win a trip to the Major League All-Star Game on Fox for you and 3 of your friends. Upload 2 photos, foxsports.com. Fantastic All-Star. There's an Alvarez doing some shooting today, now through June 3rd. Now that's from earlier today. We might want to be clear that's not happening now in the dugout. Well, Snyder was the hitter scheduled. Brad Hand comes out of the bullpen. Buck Showalter says, well, I'm going with Steve Pearce now. So it's Pearce, the right-handed hitter, who faces Hand. Baltimore trying to climb back in it. Just one out. Hand throws a strike.
And remember, it was Steve Pearce against Seattle just before the Orioles came here. Hit a grand slam off lefty Jay Happ.
Breaking ball, Solano knocks it down. Count a ball and a strike. Full schedule on this Memorial Day Sunday leading up to the holiday tomorrow. Hit hard. Prado. Gordon. Got him! 5-4-3. Brad Hand pitches out. Gordon had a little bit of a bobble, but a strong throw to Bohr in time to get Pearce. And the Marlins bullpen so good last night. Gets 2 big outs here today in the 7th. 5-1 still, Miami.
Nice to see the Marlins get back on that hit train and scoring some runs. Christian Yelich with a ground ball in the 2nd inning produced a run. Marlins had a lead. That guy doing it again. Martin Prado comes through with another base hit. Prado with a single and a home run so far in this game. Marcell Ozuna has 3 hits today. He produces big time, driving in a couple of runs. Then the 5th inning, on the 12th pitch during that at bat, many foul balls. Martin Prado took one deep, his 3rd home run of the year. Only run of the game for the Orioles came on a sac fly, and that's the way we stand right now. The Marlins with a very nice lead, partly because of a terrific job from Brad Hand, getting a double play from Steve Pearce, the pinch hitter. Tom Kohler loved it as well as anybody.
That's a great reaction. A run on 3 hits for Baltimore, 10 hits with the 5 runs for Miami. Marcell Ozuna and Martin Prado having big days here today. And Tom Kohler, Tommy, has put together 3 impressive starts. And remember, he had a nice relief appearance in there as well, and he gets help from Brad Hand.
All of a sudden, Rich Top Kohler has gotten his ERA to 3.44.
Well, I think Buck Showalter is thinking, let's get Brian Mattis right back out there,
because I might not have him for a few days.
Mattis last night, part of the intrigue of a 13-inning 1-0 game, when he was caught with a foreign substance on his right arm. He's a lefty, and you could see him throughout the night rubbing that right arm. He just actually went to that right arm there. There's Delman Young. He's in the ball game in right field. Marlins asked home plate umpire Jordan Baker to check. Paul Emmel, the crew chief, as well, and they found something on that right arm, and he was ejected from the ball game.
Well, he was constantly going to it, and as we made mention earlier, it was Brett Butler who brought it to the attention of DJ, who brought it to the attention of the home plate umpire.
Count 1-1 to Prado. Prado leading it off for Miami. Justin Bour, Christian Yelich will follow. We check in with Craig Minervini.
Yeah, I was listening in on Buck Showalter's little presser today with the media, and he was a little ticked off about it, very composed. And also his lineup got to Dan Jennings' office a little later than normal today. He said, in fact, it was probably close to noon by the time they got it. He did say, look, I get it, it's a rule, but he seemed to make it very light of it, and also was wondering why the Marlins would do it. And the second thing he said was interesting was bringing in a reliever. He said, I think it's a competitive imbalance and injustice for the reliever to have to warm up and show all your pitches, 30, 40 pitches in front of the other team. And you see Prado knocking the left field. I don't think I've ever heard anybody talk about that, but he said he would prefer the guy to warm up in the bullpen and then come out. But what they told him was, you need some action on the field. Which then he said, well, you have that team over here. You want to know what the dancers were called and all the other things going on. So he had a few thoughts on it and didn't seem to be too happy about it.
So he wasn't happy that the Marlins asked to have his arm checked.
That's right.
I talked to him a little bit this morning. He's just been annoyed at the noise. He said, this place is noisy, so they got a headache today.
Yeah. He couldn't believe it. He said, what's the name of these? I said, they're called the Energy Team. He thought I was kidding. And he said, maybe for the rookie setup, they'll have some of the outfits they've been wearing in this series for their rookies later in the year.
That's a great call. That's a great call. Justin Bour has doubled, lined out, and walked, and has looked good doing it.
The downside for any manager who challenges that call to have a pitcher check, the downside to that is that you got to make sure your guys are clean.
It was. I mean, it may have seemed inconsequential at the time, but the fact that the game was into extra innings and went 13, it was a bullpen game. And
yeah, absolutely.
That cut short Baltimore's bullpen. Backing up is Davis. Gets to the bag and gets the out. Brian Mattis has 2 outs in the 7th. Our Toyota trends this season: Baltimore home road splits. Their road numbers in Miami, and you know what? It's not the same team that they bring in here every 3 years. Marlins have had success against it.
You would expect too for the Orioles that their home numbers, as far as production numbers, are always going to be better than on the road. It's a really great ballpark to hit in.
Here's Yelich, and he takes a strike. Of late, their road numbers have really taken a jolt. They're just 4-11 in their last 15 road games.
Nice day for Christian Yelich. RBI ground out, a couple of singles. He's taken his average over 360 in interleague play. Now that's always a hard
So that's
one
another number.
Yeah, it's because it's so inconsistent.
I can understand when you talk about a guy's career numbers against a certain team, even if it spans 10, 12, 15 years of, a Chipper Jones, David Wright, Zimmerman type, because a lot of that is ballpark. You see the ball well in a certain park.
Haven't seen teams shift over on Yelich the way they have here.
Yelich swings and misses and strikes out. Baltimore tries to throw it around the horn, but that's the third out. So LaBarnway a little embarrassed as he trots back to the dugout. Corner of the ballpark, which gives you game used gear. You can get a base from today. They'll actually, middle of the game, have a few items arrive that were used in today's game, from jerseys to bases to balls to bats.
Rich is going to be donating a game used pencil, keeping score today.
Here's Brian Morris. Morris arrives his 23rd appearance, and he works here in the 8th inning. That game-used pencil not nearly as valuable as a game-used lucky scorekeeper's pen by legendary broadcasters such as like a Harry Carey or a Jim Brockmeyer. There's Manny Machado.
Brian Morris, a nice 10th inning last night. Had a strikeout, gave him just one hit. As part of that bullpen that worked 7 shutout innings last night.
Morris tied 23 appearances now. The lead in the National League. 0-1 coming. Hit hard and over Prado's head. And down into the corner it goes. Machado arrives at second.
That's been a nice series for Manny Machado, his 5th hit. Five for 14, just out of the reach of Martin Prado.
David Lowe now single back in the 6th. 11 doubles for Machado, and great to see him healthy after an injury-filled 2014, coming back from that knee surgery, having difficulties with his other knee. Foul back, counts 0-1 to Lowe. Jimmy Paredes on deck. Marlins head to Pittsburgh. A pair of 7 o'clock starts tomorrow and on Tuesday. And then a 12:30 start on Wednesday. All 3 games on Fox Sports Florida.
That's kind of a late brunch with the fish.
Off day and then on to New York. Charlie Morton, David Phelps. That's the only pitching matchup that is set in stone. Marlins have to be announced on Tuesday and on Wednesday. You've got, boy, you have options in AAA, a pair of starters who are pitching quite well.
Both of them, Urania and Justin Nicolino.
Lefty Jeff Locke starts for Pittsburgh on Tuesday. 1-2 pulled foul. And then Garrett Cole, he of the 6-2 record. The UCLA right-hander is a 2.05 ERA. He goes on Wednesday afternoon. And it's a Pittsburgh team that is getting hot right now. Pirates a 4-1 lead over the Mets. They knocked around Matt Harvey last night at PNC.
Just thinking, with Locke going the second game of that series, off the top of my head, the last left-hander that started against the Marlins, wasn't it Bumgarner? San Francisco. Or did Alex Wood in that Braves series? I think Alex Wood in the Braves series. But not too many.
Yes, it was Alex Wood. Tapper in the hole at short. Echeverria around it. Better hurry, and it's close, and he's safe. Echeverria was shaded almost behind the bag at second. Had to go to get it, and Lowe really busted it down the line.
This is a play. It'll give us a little homework. We always love talking to Perry Hill. If Etch thought about this again, would he try to plant and backhand it? Because if he backhands, he might be able to get rid of it and have a little more on the throw, but you have to make that quick decision. Either way, David Luff can fly, and he got up that line in a hurry.
Jimmy Paredes. Paredes, second baseman. 0 for 2 with a sacrifice fly. Marlins bullpen last night. An inning from Morris. Scoreless inning. That is a swing. Morris, the warm-up act for Carter Capps. Brian has appeared now in all 3 games of this series.
Carter Capps was a strong finisher in that one last night.
Two coming. Got him with a breaking ball. Nice strikeout by Morris.
Well, good pitching, and then put him away with a really good slider. Get ahead, you get Paredes to chase that. There's the slider, kind of a tumbler, and a good job by Jonathan Solano to smother it.
Adam Jones now. Jones 0 for 3 in this one. 2 for 14 in the series. but a guy that can change the game with a swing. No.
Tommy John surgery for Brian Morris, but way back in 2007.
Broken bat, shallow center, trouble, falls. Ozuna collects it. Baltimore won't go away easily. They loaded the bases in the 7th. They have loaded them here in the 8th.
When you think about the way this inning has unfolded, it had the well-hit Machado double, but then an infield base hit, and now a shattered bat that turns into a bloop base hit.
Chris Davis pulls a bouncer. Bohr going to get an out at first. Orioles are going to get a run. There are 2 outs. Davis gets an RBI. Machado comes across.
Just have to get the out in that situation. There's no need to try anything risky. So the decision, a correct one by Justin Bohr.
Now if you're Morris, the danger of one swing tying the game is reduced with Everett Cabrera in there. Cabrera hit 3 homers last year in 90 games with the Padres. He's not homered this year.
His base hit in the 5th inning broke an 0 for 16 that he was on.
David Lowe still at 3rd. Adam Jones at 2nd. Ball and a strike. So the Pirates 7-1 now over the Mets. That's top 7. Pirates and Marlins tomorrow night. Andrew McCutchen is getting hot. Has homered in the ball game. He's 2 for 2 and driven in 2. Starling Marte has a 3-run homer in that game. Jonathan Neese knocked around. See the Korean infielder Jung-ho Kang. He's having a very nice year. He's hitting over 300. A couple homers. 2-2. Plenty of the plate, just above the knees. Morris trying to get through this 8th. Get the game to A.J. Ramos in the 9th. Pitch is out. 97-mile-an-hour fastball. 3-2 coming. Lost him. So Cabrera walks. Ryan Lavarnway is the hitter. Lavarnway popped out his last time up. He is 3 for 27 this year, and Dan Jennings is on his way out.
Well, you have to decide, do I like what I've seen this inning from Brian Morris, or do I want to get another arm there to pitch to Lavarnway and Sam Dyson?
Morris coming out, Dyson coming in. Kendall Toyota called to the pen. Some more threatening. That's not going to stay on long.
I like the red-orange color. Yeah, that's a bit. Yeah, that's a better.
Dontrell look. That's right.
That's a better fit.
Well, the Marlins bullpen so good yesterday. Sam Dyson was the guy that first started that nice run. The Marlins had 7 scoreless innings out of their bullpen after 6 innings of Dan Herron in a 1-0 13-inning win. Dyson here against Lavarnway. Backup catcher for the Orioles fouls it off. There's the pen. Dyson started the parade. Dunn, Ramos, Morris, and Carter Capps.
Look at that, only 30 pitches for Carter Capps in his 3 innings, too.
Bouncer to D. Gordon. And Dyson gets his ground ball. Miami gets out of the inning. Baltimore a run closer. At the bottom of the 8th coming up, 5-2 Miami. 2-2. Marlins on top. Let's take a look at our T-Mobile game changer. Danny Echeverria in the 8th spot. 379 clip. Now, you see that bottom line? Marlins 0-7 when he hits 7. He's hitting 7th in this one.
Well, a couple little things can happen. Certainly the Marlins can win this game with Danny hitting 7th. The other thing, in the 4 starts that Jonathan Solano has had, he's yet to catch a winner. Team's 0-4. So it'd be nice to have that work out if this lead holds up.
Echeverria, Jonathan Solano, and in the 9 spot with the lefty on the mound, there is a right-hander in Baltimore's pen. Certain that Jeff Baker has a bat and is going through the routine down there. Lifted in the air, shallow right. Paredes out. He makes the catch right in front of Delman Young. So an out. Here comes Jonathan Solano. Baltimore's pen is busy. Miami's bullpen is busy as well. A.J. Ramos. Jonathan Solano is 0 for 3. Ichiro on deck. Solano to center. Jones goes back, squares up, and makes the catch.
What he does so well. That's why he plays shallow.
MLB Ballpark app. Download the free app. Go to Marlins.com. View maps and menus of the ballpark. Get your game ticket on there. Order some food. Special offers and more. MLB.com Ballpark app today. Here is Ichiro.
Need to make a suggestion for those who come to the ballpark. And Ichiro gets in the on-deck circle, and you know, maybe your back's a little stiff or things aren't just feeling right. Just watch Ichiro in the on-deck circle and practice some of those stretching drills.
Ichiro is 41. That's an Ichiro super fan who is here. He's got the Oryx Blue Wave jersey. Ichiro actually signed it in batting practice, and he's been here all week. 1-1. That one flipped up. Ichiro looking at his bat. Count 1-2.
Oh, what a thrill for that gentleman to get that jersey signed.
Ichiro up the middle into center field, a clean base hit.
And then to see Ichiro pick up a base hit.
How about that?
And of course, every time Ichiro picks up a base hit, it just puts him in more elite category.
He now ties Mel Ott.
Yeah, how about that? Past Babe Ruth, now tied with Mel Ott.
41st on the all-time hit list. 2,876.
And you know who's next on the list. And Ichiro not that far away. Omar Vizquel. Then you have Frankie Frisch.
Zach Wheat.
There'll be some great names in baseball history that Ichiro will surpass.
D. Gordon now. Let's see if Ichiro makes a mad dash for second.
Is it considered a mad dash when you're 41?
The way he's been moving around.
Hey, you know, I just thought of this. We've talked so much about D. Gordon with Ichiro at first base, and D. Gordon has been able to learn from Brett Butler and from Perry Hill. I'll bet you Ichiro, if he hasn't been, will be a nice influence on D. Gordon. Not the same type of hitter, but similar in some ways.
Gordon swings and misses and strikes out. Brian Mattis, 2 nice innings out of Baltimore's bullpen. Out of Miami's bullpen, A.J. Ramos will be summoned to try to close this game in the ninth. Is brought to you by your South Florida Honda dealers. By Kubota. For more information or to find a participating dealer, go to FloridaKubotaDealers.com. By Florida Coast Equipment, Florida's largest Kubota dealer. Visit us at FloridaCoastEQ.com. And by H.H. Gregg, top brands, low prices, fast delivery. Gregg's got it. Great view downtown Miami. Marlins Park with the roof shut. The AC blowing on. A.J. Ramos out of the bullpen looking for a save. And the Marlins looking to win a series.
The numbers just fantastic with A.J. Ramos. We saw him pick up his first Major League save in Los Angeles against the Dodgers. Trying to pick up number 2 here this afternoon. Opponents hitting 123 against A.J. Ramos.
Ramos opens against Delman Young here in the ninth. Zips in a fastball. Delman Young, pitcher spot. Manny Machado up in the leadoff spot. That's what the menu presents to A.J. Ramos. And it's 0-2. Fastball. Rolled to D. Gordon. Gets him by a step.
I think A.J. Ramos, once he's taken a hold of this closer's job, doesn't want to let go. It's what he was in the minor leagues. Coming up, he closed games all the time, had some terrific minor league seasons.
Oh, you go across baseball. Every guy that's pitching in the 7th and the 8th inning. There's Caleb Joseph, who's pinch hitting. Every guy who has pitched in the 7th and the 8th is working hard to pitch in the 9th. Some don't quite make it. There's some really good setup guys that never can close. Rienzo just getting some work in right now. And that indicates that he was the long man that was being held in reserve for this ball game. So you'll start him, let him throw here in the ninth. If something happens and the chance of the game getting tied up, he'll slow down so he can still pitch. But he's got to get some work, got to stay sharp.
Well, he's been starting in AAA, 7 starts.
And to the bats, Ramos. He's got 2 outs.
A.J. Ramos with 83 saves in the minor leagues, had 28 in low A, came back the next year, 25. Pitching for Jupiter, had 21 for Jacksonville. So it's not a job he's unfamiliar with. It's just a territory at the next level. But he's starting to look really comfortable.
Here now is Manny Machado. One and 0 to Miami's own, Baltimore's third baseman, Manny Machado. In the air, towards the line, Stanton a long run, and it's in foul territory. He hops up into the seats. Stanton and D. Gordon have developed a really nice chemistry. We've seen it on the bench and on the field. D. Gordon's a guy too that is going to enjoy that off day on Thursday.
Yes, he will.
As hard as he plays, all the stolen bases this series.
And I think we're getting close to seeing Giancarlo get on a nice little run. We've seen Christian Yelich swing the bat well. Ozuna with a nice day today. 3 hits for Marcel.
24,000 coming alive. The 1-2. Did he go? No. Says Andy Fletcher. 23,834 on a Sunday in Miami. Two coming. In the air to left and deep. Yelich back. Park should hold it. It does. Ball game. And for a team desperately looking for something to feel good about, in less than 24 hours, the Marlins get 2 wins against the Baltimore Orioles. In 13 innings last night, a 1-0 win. You see the coaching staff with handshakes all around. The Marlins today behind Tom Kohler, Marcell Ozuna, Martin Prado win this one 5-2.
I honestly think, Rich, as important as it was to win that game last night and break the losing streak, just as important to come back today, play a good ball game, get a win, and they did that. And it all started with a tremendous start from Tom Kohler.
So 5-2, the Marlins win it. And it's on to Pittsburgh for Dan Jennings and the Fish. They'll face a very hot Pirate team who beat the Mets again today 8-2. A.J. Burnett getting the win. Or excuse me, are leading the Mets late in that one in Pittsburgh right now 9-1. So the Fish beat the Orioles after a win last night that snapped the 8-game losing streak. Miami's record improves to 18-27.
You know, it's the type of thing, it never gets repetitious. You always want to go out there, play a solid game. It never gets old to win games, and the Marlins, between last night and today, within 24 hours, 2 really nice wins.
Well, less than 24 hours ago, Martin Prado had a bubblegum bucket on his head after a walk-off hit. He's got a little bubble gum going right now. Martin, congratulations for your ball club. The last 24 hours to get these 2 wins has to feel pretty good.
Oh, you don't know how good it feels. I think everybody just excited in the locker room right now because we played a pretty good game yesterday, but today was one of those games that make us believe that we thought, you know, we got a lot of good stuff. I got a lot of good players. We just kind of like we got a rough week and a half, but this is baseball, you know. It's a game of failure, and I feel like everybody just making adjustments. And in the last 2 days, that's what we've been doing.
Martin, with all the things that have gone on the last week or so, you as a veteran, having been with a few other clubs, how do you help the other players get through that?
One of the things I believe that is not, it's not panic. Panic is not good for baseball, and believe it or not, I experienced panic early in my career. But these guys, they know what they're doing. They come to the field every day. They grind it out. They just prepare for the game. They play the game right. They hard, you know. They play the game, hard, and they hustle, and that's all you ask for. Like, you don't have to be all, all the time you're telling the guy what to do. If they know what to do, they play the game in the right way, I think we're going to be fine.
All right, Martin, I want to take you back and help us out here in the 5th inning. You're at bat, 12 pitches, 7 foul balls. What was going on between you and Miguel Gonzalez? This was a great battle. Tell me what you were thinking. Tell me what you were seeing. My first at bat, he threw 2 fastball, one outside, one in, and then he threw a slider, and I hit it for a base hit. But I faced him last year, so I had a plan. I was just kind of looking for a good pitch upside. He got a pretty good sinker. He missed a lot of spots, and this at bat, I was just trying to pull the ball in play. And trying to be aggressive. If I see the ball off, I was trying to put a good swing, and finally, after I don't know how many foul 7.
balls.
You had 7 of them.
Well, after 7, he actually left one right in the middle, and I could, I put my ball, I pulled the bat on time, and fortunately I hit it out, which is hard to do here in this stadium.
Yeah, no. That was a great at bat. A great example to all the other players, and I know you're a tremendous example not only to everybody on the team. You have a special bond with all the Latin players, don't you?
Well, I mean, when I see this guy, I see myself when I came up in the big leagues, and I didn't have too many Latin guys around me, so I know how hard it is to be not by yourself, but just not having experience in the league and not having someone that don't allow you to make the same mistake that I made in the past. So I'm making sure this guy don't do the same thing that I did in the past.
Terrific series. The win last night, the homer tonight, and an outstanding interview. Thank you, Martin.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Martin Prado, Miami's third baseman, drives into 2 for 4 in this ball game. An important one for the Fish. Desperately looking for something good to happen. It's happened last night and today. The Fish win the series. 5-2. Marlins Live is coming up.